Welcome to Thunder Holler, Oxford's first indoor shooting range. We hope that you have a fun and an enjoyable experience. But before we get started, let's go over a few safety rules. All first-time visitors are required to view our safety video before being permitted to enter the range. Before shooting, you must sign a release form and you must have a valid ID present. Here at Thunder Holler, as you go into the airlock room, make sure that the first door is completely shut before you try to open the other door that goes into the range. And upon leaving the range, make sure that the range door is completely shut and that you step on the sticky mat to take the powder off of your shoes, and then you can open the second door. At Thunder Holler, upon entering the lane that you will be shooting in, make sure that you carry all your personal items into the lane that you're shooting. You can lay them on the counter or you can set them down on the side. And you must make sure that at all times you only have one gun out. You can take your rifle out, shoot it if you like. Then whenever you're finished with your rifle, you need to zip it back up in the case, unload it, and then set it on the floor and pick up your pistol or handgun, set it on the counter. Always remember, only have one gun out at a time and never come out of these red lines unless you have your gun holstered or either you have it zipped up in a case. When you get in your lane and you're ready to shoot, you should always make sure that your target is at eye level, because we want to make sure that we're hitting the bullet trap and we're not hitting the ceiling or the floor. To demonstrate this, I'm going to show you how. If you're shooting a handgun, you should always make sure that your target is at eye level. So right now, when I'm aiming at that target where it is, I'm shooting the bullet trap. I'm not shooting the ceiling or the floor. Now you'll notice as I shoot my long gun and I sit down in a chair, it changes my angle, so I lowered my target down so that I'll be shooting into the bullet trap. If you need help, all you have to do is ask the range master and they will be glad to help you lower that target or raise that target to fit your needs. Children must be at least 8 years of age to enter the range. All children under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian and supervised at all times. Women that are pregnant are not allowed on the range. Ear and eye protection are required prior to entering the range and must be worn at all times. Proper attire is required. No sandals, open-toed shoes, high heels, low necklines, or excessively loose clothing or jewelry. No food, drinks, gum, or tobacco is permitted on the range. Alcohol and drug use before or while shooting is strictly prohibited. Any person suspected of alcohol or drug use will be escorted off the property. Cellular phone usage is strictly prohibited. No cursing, foul, or abusive language is permitted on the range. A maximum of 3 shooters per lane. Shooters may retrieve their brass only. Brass must be easily accessible. You may not cross the firing line to retrieve any brass. You must place your firearm on the table before picking up any dropped live rounds. No crossing the firing line for any reason. No black powder guns are allowed. No caliber larger than a .308 is permitted. Only authorized firearms and ammunition may be used. Steel core, steel jacketed, and tracer rounds are strictly prohibited. Ammunition purchased from Thunder Holler can be shot in any range gun. All other ammunition must be cleared by a range employee. No reloads are allowed. Know and understand all the operating and safety features of the firearm that you are using. Always treat a firearm as if it is loaded. Always keep the muzzle of your firearm pointed down range. Always keep your finger off the trigger and outside the trigger guard until you are ready to shoot. All shooters must be aware of their target and what is behind it. You may only use range-approved targets. Only shoot at your target. Cross-lane shooting is prohibited. Do not shoot at anything other than your target. Anyone observed deliberately shooting at things other than their target, like the walls, the ceilings, the lights, target retrieval systems, the cameras, etc., will be assessed a $250 fine and asked to leave the range. The cost of repair or replacement of damaged equipment will be charged to the individual as well. Range safety officer commands must be obeyed at all times. Upon the command of cease fire, you must stop shooting immediately. Cease fire! Place your firearms down on the booth shelf and back away from the shooting booth. All clear! Shooters may not re-enter the booth or pick up their firearm until the all clear command is given. When entering the range at Thunder Holler, you should always have your weapon cased or either holstered. And when you come into the booth, you should set your bag down. And when you unzip your bag to take your weapon out, make sure that your weapon is pointing downrange. I noticed that this one is not, so before taking it out, you should pick up your bag, turn the weapon around so that it's pointing downrange. Reach in, take your weapon out with it downrange, take the magazine out, slide the slide back. Make sure that you don't have a bullet in the barrel. Leave the slide up where you can see inside of it, and now you're ready. No passing of firearms to another individual. All firearms must be placed on the counter, pointed downrange with the slide bolt open, then the other individual may be allowed to pick up the weapon. Handling or operating any firearms outside the shooting booth is strictly prohibited. Use of one firearm at a time. When finished, unload and case the firearm before uncasing another firearm. Drawing from the holster is strictly prohibited unless approved by the rangemaster. NFA and Class 3 weapons, which are fully auto, suppressors, short barrel rifles, and shotguns, are allowed only at the discretion of the range officer. Proper documentation must be present, and you need to report any unsafe activity or conditions to the range safety officer immediately. Rental firearms can only be shot with proper ammunition that is purchased from the range. Rental firearms are available for non-members and walk-ins only under these circumstances. You must bring a family member with you, or you must have a firearm with you. Before leaving the range booth, all firearms must be cased or holstered and cleared by the rangemaster. And once he has cleared you, then you can close the slide, put your weapon back in the case, zip it up. Then you can take your bag and you are able to leave the lane. When leaving the range, you must thoroughly wash your hands, forearms, and face at the wash station in the lounge. Wipe down your ear and eye protection as well. All of us at Thunder Holler hope you have a fun experience and stay safe.